Salman, guys. So this is going to be an extremely difficult video. Very sensitive video, very triggering video. My sympathies go out to all those that have experienced GBV, have been raped, any form of sexual harassment, any form of any sexual assault. It's a very, very sensitive topic. But it's a topic that I think we need to discuss. I'm just going to premise by saying, Uti, I'm anti-rape of any kind, you know. I'm against male to male, female to female, male to female, female to male. Noma yini, into nje mase ne rape, uboshwe and thrown in prison. I'm against GBV, I'm anti-GBV, so if it's a woman who's hitting a man, if it's a man hitting a man, yay, angifuni leyo nto abantu ngicela baye ejele. But as sensitive as that topic is, it is one that we need to discuss. The topic of consent. I fully aware ukuthi by doing videos like this, chances are YouTube is going to demonetize that, and that's okay. But the message behind it, I think, is more powerful than making any sort of buck behind it. So I'm going to use the word rape as much as YouTube hates me saying it. I'm going to use words like GBV and assault and violence and, you know, while understanding what it is a sensitive topic. So if you guys have been following the news, so the Supreme Court of Appeal has just turned over a judgment that was done by that then acting judge Uthembeka Ncukai Tobi, I think that's how you say his surname, whereby in 2018 there was a case where this gentleman had allegedly raped his girlfriend. Very, very sensitive case. It was to Uthembeka's judgment that he was found innocent, I think. The whole thing was just around consent, you know. Just to make a long story short, she had gone over to his place. She had given consent around kissing, oral sex. She had given consent around that. However, she had not given consent around penetration. You know, the whole. Let me actually read it. Let me read what the Supreme Court judgment says. It says consent of penetrative sex must be communicated by the complainant to the accused. Consent to foreplay does not constitute consent to an act of penetration. Squarely lied on and educated on the complainant's consent to foreplay and oral sex. Guys, we agree, you know, consenting impela. I think the challenge around the consent to ukuthi amachita was. I know it's simple for us objectively judging. I get it. You know, the guy must put in. Yes, I promise you, if you go to 10 guys, 9 of the guys will say, yeah, no. If the sister said no to penetrative sex, then it's a no to penetrative sex. But it's extremely nuanced. And that's why Judge Thembeka said the guy is innocent, you know, because again, he used what they called tacit consent. What that means is that it's a form of silent consent. So it speaks to like things like body language. You know that movement, hey, gents love this movement, when you're in the bedroom and you're taking a girl's underwear off and then she lifts like a sister and a paramissizin. That's almost like that speaks to that whole tacit consent, where she hasn't said, yes, you know, I agree to you penetrating me, you know, but that kind of speaks to lifting of her thingy and then bringing you in with, okay, what's up, boy, without having to say it. And then there's obviously the one that we know that it's active, where they say yes. Consent. It's a very challenging thing because it's such a sensitive topic, you know, because there's many people who have been victimized around the gray areas of consent, you know. But the Supreme Court of Appeals has overturned this and said, no, Umchita is actually guilty, you know. But when you unpack, and again, I'm no legal fundi, I know nothing about the law. Namgi funda lento the same way that you can go research it, you know. And it speaks to Guti. These people got the betrayal. She was a virgin and she did not want to lose her virginity at that time. They go to this house, they're kissing, they're having oral sex, they're doing whatever. He gets naked, he takes off her pajamas. You know, he then argues with her. She didn't say, stop, don't take off my clothes, don't do this, do that. They get to the point. Before they get to the point, she says, please promise me that you won't put it in. He says, no, I won't do that. They continue having oral sex, la, 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 la. Long story short, he ends up putting it in. He does. She then says, hey, it's sore. He stops for a bit. All those things, when you're reading it, hey, angazi. Ibuhlungu lento because ngempela lo sisi fethu feels how she feels and lo bhuti feels how he feels, you know. And if you've ever been in a loving, caring relationship, the last thing that you want to do is deliberately hurt your partner. You know, I'm not saying there's no monsters out there. I'm just saying, if you've ever been in a loving, caring relationship, the last thing you want to do is deliberately hurt your partner. You know, so many guys have been in sexual spaces where the girl might say, hey, it's a bit sore down there, young hair, you know, and maybe stop here. And to say, no, I need to stop. Iba more gentle. Yeah, so there's those type of nuance, guys. We understand in a bedroom with a person, there's some sort of dance that has to play, you know, and the dance is different based on where you grew up, you know. Tinukumbule, guys, well, let's say sakhula where they were saying intombi ngeke iqome on the first day. What does that mean? The girl doesn't always say yes, or shouldn't rather. A good girl doesn't say yes the first time, you know. So therefore, even if a girl says no to dating you, as an example, she says no, when as the guy, you need to show that you can be resilient or persistent, or show the need to want to woo, to what. And those girls at that time, angazi, in different areas, in different spaces, at that time they see okay, he's actually wanting to, he's coming in, he's la 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 la. And in different cultures, it talks to different things. And I would assume it also translates into the bedroom, you know, where consent speaks to something else. I get it from a legal point. It's legally, this is what it is. However, we need to understand it's so nuanced, you know. And Amachita will continue doing what they're doing. Or Sisi will continue doing what they're doing because ngempela see understand their consent. We understand the obvious things. No, stop, leave me. That we get, that's clear, you know. But the nuance of this, the nuance of when a guy being in a room in your home with your girlfriend that you love and you care and you want to provide for and protect, you know, and nourish and do all this and make her live soft, and you guys are going down on each other and it's nice and it's beautiful, and for you who are in a certain mindset versus uskruf, it's different. And I'm not saying no, I'm saying as fundisani, yabona. Sicela abantu abangakwazi ukufundisa abantu ukuthi the nuance of consent. Makuya nge whatever, tacit consent. What does that look like? You know, just to give a different example, I grew up in a generation or at a time where our parents used to give us hidings. If you did something wrong, you got a spanking, a hiding, however you want to name it. That's how we grew up. You know, we grew up in that space. Why? Because our parents grew up in the space like that. You know, if you grew up in a community that was traditionalist, or in a community that was religious, you know, in Christianity, they say, spare the rod, spoil the child. So if you grew up in a space like that, for you spanking a child or for you giving a child a hiding is part of your culture. Not everyone, I get that, but for a majority, if you grew up in that space. South Africa comes with the laws and they say it is against the law. It is illegal to spank your child. That is constitution. You may not spank your child. I know many parents that still to this day spank their kids. What they are doing is an illegal act. So the government came and they said to us, in your own homes, in your own personal spaces, this is what's right, this is what's wrong, this is what's legal, this is what's illegal. However, they didn't train us, they didn't give us alternative options. They didn't say, look, I understand from a traditionalist point, from a Christian point, you guys have believed in spanking your child. However, now with this government, this is how we look at it. There are many families. There are many people. You might not be that person. You might not know these people that I'm talking about, that understand to them, to their world, that once you are married or once you are in a relationship, your body as a guy belongs to her and her body belongs to you. Meaning, if I'm sleeping and I have a loving partner next to me. I'm sleeping, ne? I'm sleeping. If she wakes up and decides on her account, without asking me for my consent, if she decides to wake up and then starts, let's say, I'm going to be grim, goes down and gives me head, gives me a blowjob, and I wake up, she doesn't consider that act as rape, even though she has not gotten my consent. I'm dead asleep. So I can't give her any type of consent. I can't give her the body language. I can't give her the verbal, the non-verbal, whatever. I'm dead asleep. But there are many people that believe the guy's even, let me wake him up with a blowjob. You didn't get consent. You did not get consent. And if that guy were to wake up and go to the police station, that day, according to our law, is rape. It is, guys. It is. And I'm not saying I'm not coming here with any moral judgment. I'm saying we need to educate these things because we don't want our brothers, we don't want our sisters to go through these things. And man, you know, I've spoken to sisters who believe that they have been victimized, and they went to the police station. They didn't get hurt. They didn't get the assistance that they required, and it boiled down to, she said, I didn't give this guy consent, and on top of that, I was very intoxicated and I was drunk. You go to the police station and the police station says, look, he was also drunk. Did he give you consent? Consent is not something that is held by a specific gender. It's not something that's being held by a specific gender. Consent is consent. So you, guy, smashing from the back, mid-stroke, you can pull out and say, you know what, I withdraw my consent. It is your legal right to do so. It is your legal right to do so. The same way for her, Usisi, in the middle of having sex, she can withdraw her consent and say, listen, please stop, I'm no longer there. It can happen. And I'm saying, Wuti, that is the law of it. But however, in your relationship, it is way more nuanced than for us who are sitting on this objective high horse, beggar, I'm telling you, when I'm cheater, figure ekhaya today, umeme qabule to meme, let's go to the bedroom, and uthi, no baby, today I don't feel like having sex. And then come back and chat to us and teach us what you've learned. Tina City Puti, while having sex, mid-stroke, stop and say, hey, love, you know what? I'm good. Done. I withdraw my consent. And then come and educate us. And educate us on the nuance of it. Because we hear the legality of it. And it's shown because there are people that have been victimized, and it's fun to stand. Guys, guys, mama, I've got nieces. Just so that it seems like I'm not attacking all sisters, you know. But it's nuanced. Consent is nuanced. And I'm reading this thing and I'm going, man. I remember there was a time where on Twitter, now X, where they had a list of all these rape guys that raped or whatever that were said Gucci that raped. Where they said they'd raped. And I remember, Banbani had raped. And I remember there was a very good friend of mine, not very good friend, but a good friend of mine. And they had his picture. Bah. And they said, watch out for this guy. They said his name and his surname. He normally goes to these type of bars. They say the name of the bars. And they say, watch out, he's very rapey. Or he's got, they say he's got rapey tendencies. What does that mean? Did you get victimized? Did he take you to his place? So then I'm reading the comments. And honest to God, some people are like, what does that mean, rapey tendencies? No, what he likes to do is that he likes to flirt with girls and buys them drinks and then leaves with them. Where's that illegal? Is it the girls that are feeling raped? Are they like what's I don't get that. So he likes to flirt with girls, buys them drinks, and then leaves with them. The girls are giving consent to leave, and whatever happens, as long as it's consensual and it's adults and people of relative sober mind and they agree, and the following day they still agree. And Tina doesn't get up tin. When you saw a poster umuntu babhala ukuthi rapey. What get up when? Like, those things I don't understand, but now this guy has to go back to work and have people look at him sideways. I know another guy on a personal note who was claimed that he had raped one man. Fortunately for him, he's got great financial backing. He got lawyered up. They found out exactly, and they found out that it was a guy who had posted all of this negative stuff, claiming to be UCC, but it was from the back. But this guy, his reputation was screwed. So I'm not saying Guti protect ama rapist. I'm not fun ama rapist, guys. Nami nabating matanda. I'm fun ama rapist walking around. I'm trying to explain Guti. We should find a better way. It's not as duh as you think it is when you're sitting objectively. It's not. It's not, guys. It's really, really not that duh. It's not. Because I've had many conversations with OCC on the sly, and OCC say, hey, Nam, I don't understand. OCC, when you're sitting with a sister and you're chatting, and you're like, hey, so when a guy goes and he buys you a drink and what, how do you feel? What does that mean? Guys, we're not fucking retarded. We understand that buying a girl a fucking Savannah doesn't mean that now she has to give you her ass. We get that. We obviously get that. But it's nuanced. It's nuanced because if I know that there's a Harvey fucking Weinstein or there's a guy who's been flirting with me and he wants my booty and this guy comes and he buys me bottles after bottles after bottles, I need to go, something does not smell right here. Something's fishy. Cut that off, man. Because if I'm walking on this road, figure game just comes to me and says, hey, pa, I'll clean up 100 rand. I go, oh, I know 100 rand. Because I believe in the philosophy of out of nothing comes nothing. There's nothing for free in this world. And when you sit with all these sisters offline, they understand which this is a dance. So with him buying you that Savannah, it's, may I have this dance? Now this dance starts to begin. Hey, what's your name? Hey, my name is Prudence. What's your name? It's a dance. Then it goes cocktail. Then it goes bottle of Mawezi. And it's a dance. So we've seen this, we've lived it. Nibaningi sisi obugala, puti obugala, nibaningi ngama rapist. Because you've then agreed to the dance, you've taken the guy home, and then you went down without getting his consent. Or when up with you've gone down and you didn't get her consent. And you've woken him up with a blowjob without his consent. Ningama rapist, nan. It's a dance, guys. And in the plum was that at the end of the day, bakhona abantu aba victimized. Bakhona abantu that have actually really been raped. And we need to put all our attention on there. And unfortunately, the law hasn't helped them because the waters have been muddied by yonke le nyova dam. Engazi ukuthi nina nenzeni. Wahamba wayeklabhini wafeba. Wayeklabhini wafeba. You wake up with regret in the morning. I got raped. Uzwile because I didn't say your gender, by the way. Wahamba wayeklabhini wafeba. You woke up in the morning with regret, you said, I got raped. Lapo, there are real people. There are real people who are going through this. Victimized of any sort. I posted the other day, a couple of weeks ago, these guys at gym were looking at me in a very pervy way. And people were laughing. But I'm telling you, if it was a situation where a sister, people would be on me. And I'm saying we need to be neutral now when it comes to the law. We need to be neutral when it comes to the law. We need to be able to separate your how you were brought up, your morals, your what versus the legality. Angit. Into show you this year affects this year. And we're not educating. Much like us that grew up getting spankied by our parents, it will affect the legality. Because if that's the truth, which is illegal, my mother must go to prison, she must go to jail. Because why in shy, I mean? Mama in shy and cool. I was kak naughty. So I used to collect hidings yiltach. Nganga mina ngingangi naughty. And I can tell you now, bafana bam they know it. Slano. Got 3 boys. Naughty bugs. Naughty. They know the shoe. It's waiting for them in the room. Now I must go to jail then. Because I'm working outside the law, right? Right? Forget the fact that I grew up in a very Christian environment, in a very traditionalist environment that believed in spare the rod, spoil the child.
that believe ukuthi ingane egangayo uyayithinta khona ingeke igange. I grew up in that space. I grew up in a space where usisi, when you go and you try and work, she'll say no. She walk past you the first time, and then she walk, and the second time, what you tell me? In today's term, it's called you coercing her. Coercing her. Don't coerce her. But it was yamshela, yamsofnisha. Mawuthi yambamba sithi ngeke wena. Mawuthi sithi no. Uthi zawini manje wena. Okay ngiyakuyeka. Ungiyeka now. Hamthobisi wozake. Osekuyimi ke lo yake. Okay no lalela. Yeah, kodwa uthi ufunani? No manje lethi. We grew up like that, and now we're saying, okay, sharp, we want to work within the league, but teach us. Don't just say, well, I get. The guy, it's in the documents in this case, they were both going down on each other, they were performing oral sex. So in his mind, he was like, top shayela. The next step. In his mind, because umuntu wami. And I'm not saying victimizer and you must go to prison or not go to prison. I know nothing about the legalities like that. I'm saying, teach us, please. Because we are tired of seeing people get victimized. And at the same time, we are tired of people getting wrongly accused. No, Mabini, both of you guys were drunk. So why must he be the one that now must go to prison? When you guys were both drunk, did he give you consent? No. Did you give it? No. Oh, now what? Those documents get chucked. Because in Tawi, so man just teeny because kade singekho lapho. Kade singekho lapho. Osisibethu are quick to say, choke me. Fellas, hey, ngothi ngiyakuchoka kusasa. Angithi usune regret. You go back to umuntu wakho bona ama marks la. Angithi bona ama marks umuntu wakho. Oh, you got raped. Lapho choke me. It's your word versus mine. People are saying, we now need to write contracts. Hey, consent can be withdrawn can be withdrawn. Contract chako means nothing. Because your contract is like, I give him consent to have sex with me, Mid, et lo muntu no. Uzothini wena le phepha lakho. The paper lakho. You have no consent in this country under the constitution to victimize and perform an illegal act on umuntu that is not in line with the Bill of Rights just because of ipeshana. Stop it. This is such a sensitive topic. I know people on these comments are going to feel a type of way. I understand. But we need to start these conversations. I do not have the answers. I do not have the solutions. Ngithi guys, let's help each other. Someone khona la wazi law. Akayibhale sifunde sinike ama link. Khona nathi sokwazi ukuyofunda some more. Anenze iZoom nisifake sonke kuleyo Zoom call sifunde nathi. Sifunde sabanye. Because baningi obaba usibiya busy victimize abantu and abazi ukuthi bayabavictimize and labo sisi broken njengamanje and osisi busy victimize obhuti and obhuti broken njengamanje. Baningi amajita who are getting beat at home, but I hear because they don't know ukuthi baye kuphi. Bayashaywa khona amajita engiwaziyo mina ayashaywa ngenduku umeme ushaya umjita GBV. But makuya nge-GBV, no, GBV is when a man hits. That's the narrative on the street. It's when a man hits a woman. But there's many men who are getting folded by sisters. There are many men who are getting victimized by sisters. There are many men who are saying, hey, let's not do this. While the sister is pulling off his belt. While the sister is pulling down his pants. Kuyenzeka guys, ngiyakwazi nani. Khona sisabayibuka lento naka tebenza izolo tebenza. Bala. Twitter big, hey man is this that. Guys, kulula when we are objective. Sihleli on our high moral horses. Angithi thina sazi yonke into. Ukujudge abantu. Ukujudge, hey, this mina bangibhalanga kule list le. Yawubheke labantu ba wrong kanjani. Hey, awubheke labantu, hey. Kulula ukujudge when you are on the outside ubheke phambili yabona. Clap. Hey guys, into basibhekane nawe. Bebhlungu. Hey, bhlungu uyahleka. Owakini bemdlwengule. Owakini. Hey wabhlungu man. Hey wabhlungu. Owakini bamforce yakhisa ubhuti wakho. Ubhuti wakho uzalwa naye kanje wakuncebela oshela wena. Sekuthi urepile. Hayibo. Owami, how? No, he's such an amazing guy. Who did he rape? He raped his girlfriend. No, why did he rape? They've been together for 6 years. Why would he rape her? Yeah, understand? We need to have these conversations as sensitive as they are. We need to unpack them and we need to get educated and we need to understand the law. And we need to first go back, understand traditionally, okay, we were doing it like this. Religiously, we were doing it like this. Where I grew up in my community, we did it like this. But this is how the law looks like now. What is consent, guys? Please comment. Please share this video. Please like and subscribe.